Okay. Wow. Um, this listener's really throwing us into the deep end this time, huh? With election predictions.
Yeah, a week out from November 5th. Talk about a nail biter.
Right. Like, talk about a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
So we're diving into this article,
Oh, yeah.
boldly titled,
Oh, yeah.
Breaking. Trump holds a massive 33-point lead with only 7 days left until the 2024 election.
Wow.
So this article is definitely not holding back, but let's see what it has to say
Right.
about the race between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris.
Yeah, let's break it down.
So what jumps out at you immediately from this article?
I mean, the first thing is that lead, right? Like
Yeah.
66% chance of winning for Trump against Harris's 34%. That's a huge gap.
Right. Especially this close to Election Day.
Yeah. And it's not just the Electoral College either.
Oh, what else is there?
This article claims that Trump might actually win the popular vote, too.
Wait, you're kidding me.
Nope.
That's practically unheard of for a Republican these days, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. The last time a Republican candidate won the popular vote was back in 2004
Oh, wow.
with George W. Bush.
Okay, so if this prediction actually comes true,
Yeah.
could this signal like a major shift in American politics?
Oh, absolutely. We could be talking about a potential realignment.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so how are they even coming up with these numbers anyway?
Good question.
The article mentions these things called betting markets,
Right.
which honestly always seemed kind of like a black box to me.
Yeah, I get that. So think of betting markets like a constantly updating opinion poll,
Okay.
but with money on the line.
Oh, so people are putting their money where their mouth is.
Exactly. And these odds reflect how likely they think a certain candidate is going to win.
Okay.
And that gets translated into those probabilities.
Right. The 66% for Trump we were talking about.
Exactly. And using these probabilities, they put together what they're calling an electoral map,
Oh.
with states categorized as solid,
Oh.
likely, or lean for each candidate.
Okay, so let's break down this map then.
Sure.
So first, what do they mean by solid, likely, and lean?
Great question. So solid means a 90% or greater chance of winning.
Okay.
So it's pretty much a slam dunk. Like likely is more like 70, 89%. So still a strong favorite, but not totally guaranteed.
Okay.
And then lean is more like 55, 69% chance. So more of a toss up.
Oh, so that's where things get really interesting.
Yeah, for sure. So this article highlights some states that usually are competitive,
Oh, right.
but now they seem to be solidly in Trump's camp.
Like where?
Like Iowa and Ohio, for example, are given like a 94, 95% chance of going red.
Wow.
Texas is also at 94%.
Which I guess is no surprise.
Right.
But what about Florida?
Florida, that's the big one.
Yeah, it always feels like a nail biter.
Yeah, and Florida is sitting at a 94% chance of going for Trump as well.
Wow, so those are some massive swings in states that used to be really close.
Exactly.
So what about Harris then? Where's she strongest according to this article?
Let's see. They point to New Mexico, Maine, and Nebraska's 2nd district as leaning towards Harris, with New Hampshire also leaning her way, but with a much tighter margin.
Gosh.
It also mentions Minnesota and Virginia as likely Democratic.
Right.
But even in those states, the margins are thinner than we've seen in other elections.
So maybe a little bit of a rightward shift in those states then?
Potentially, yeah. It's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. But you know what really caught my attention in this whole article?
What's that?
Was the whole battleground state situation.
Oh, yeah. Those are always key.
Right. So they talk about Pennsylvania, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan.
The classic blue wall states.
Right. Which, if I remember correctly, were super crucial in 2016, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
Exactly. These are the lean states now.
Okay.
And the article really highlights just how close these races are.
Yeah.
Get this. They say Nevada flipped from a 50-50 race to a 66% chance for Trump in just 10 days.
What?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it really is. Talk about a roller coaster.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think that just a handful of states could decide the entire election.
It's true. It really shows how important those blue wall states are.
Yeah, for sure. So after going through all this
Yeah.
whole deep dive into election predictions,
Yeah.
I'm honestly feeling a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah, I get that.
So what are your main takeaways from all of this?
Well, first of all, it's important to remember that these are just predictions.
Right.
Based on this one article at this specific point in time.
Yeah.
Things can change so much,
Yeah.
especially in this last week before the election.
Totally. But you know what I'm wondering?
What's that?
If you were like a campaign strategist
Mm-hmm.
for either Trump or Harris, where would you be focusing your efforts in this last week?
Oh, that's a great question.
Right. Like what states would you target and how would you try to win over voters? It's definitely something to think about as we watch this election play out.
It really is.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with me.
Of course. Always a pleasure.
Until next time, so.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.